England are very resourceful, and it's not good enough. And this has been a complete mismatch. Not playing a second spinner. We've been talking about this. There's just the balance doesn't feel right. It seems like we're going to have pace, and that is the way we're going to attack it, and that's it. I know Ben Duckett has had a couple of performances. I don't see how Will Jacks doesn't get into a white ball England team. It just, I find that astonishing, to be honest. And in T20 cricket, you've got just through the team, just a lot of confusion, not enough clarity. Liam Livingstone, at some point he's got to step up and be that senior player. There's just so many things that are just not right. And I thought the other day was a really good example of it.
Well, let's just start with the batting, because it's pretty much the opposite of Bazball at the moment. I think it's been quite timid. We've been getting off the good start and then going into our shell and getting bowled out, and bowled out limply, not even going down all guns blazing. That can't be what Brendon McCullum wants. You can't say that's what he's told them to go out and do. That's got to be the batters themselves.
Well, I don't know what he's told them to do, to be honest. And look, Matt, there's been some murmurs about players not being happy about lack of training. I think Brendon McCullum has a particular style in terms of how he wants his teams to go about it. The lot of golf, lot of vibes and all of this. I've heard murmurs where players are wanting to train and they're not able to get the training because, lads are playing golf. That can't be right. And also, my one concern with Brendon McCullum is that he's sort of brought in lads who has served him well in the red ball in the test team. Whereas one of the biggest reasons England were so successful, pioneering really one of the best white ball teams, well, definitely the best that England's ever had, is that they had two completely different teams and they weren't crossovers, and people were able to play with clarity and play a game that was, serving the team. Whereas now I think you've gone back to that sort of, there's been decent starts and then there's just a lot of timidness. That's not what we saw with Jason Roy and Johnny Best opening the batting. Joe Root coming in, providing that solid. And then you had Oy Morgan, Joss Butler, Ben Stokes, Moeen Ali. You knew what you were going to get. And you were happy. You lived with the fact that you might have a day where you get bowled out. But, their skill level was absolutely top draw, and it was just full on attacking, and it was a lot of fun. And since, that's changed, it seems like very, very timid. I agree with you.
One thing I will say, though, that this is not a Brendon McCullum thing. This has been going on for a while, hasn't it? We've been going in this direction for quite some time. So I think it's something deeper than that. That's the worrying thing for me, is that you get a new coach come in, high hopes, and there was a big bounce when he came into the test side. But I think this might be a tougher job for him.
This is definitely a tougher job. Look, white ball cricket exposes you quickly. So I absolutely agree that this is a tougher job. I think it's from when it just shows how good Oy Morgan was as well. I think it makes you look back at how well he led that team with the clarity. He clearly was the decision maker off the field as well. When it comes to selection, he knew how he wanted to go about his business, and he was ruthless when he needed to be. But he backed his players when he needed to. And that created an environment that allowed players to go out there and play with freedom. And, everyone will talk about playing without fear and play with freedom. And, I don't think I can absorb him of, that this is not just a Brendon McCullum thing, because what allows the players to go out there and play with freedom is not just saying, oh, we'll just go out and smack it. There's a lot more that needs to go into that. And, there is a part of me that, how the next 12 months plays out. And, we could be looking back and thinking, well, what did we actually achieve? Look, there were some great afternoons in Test cricket, some unbelievable wins, absolutely. But what do we have to show for it? There's got to be more than just, go out and whack it. There's got to be a bit more substance to it, and that's missing.
Well, I disagree with that. I think they've given us an unbelievable amount of entertainment, the Test side, in the last few months. And actually, I would rather us have that than us just squeak out a few wins and a few boring draws.
Well, a few wins and a few boring draws, fine, but I want to win. I want to win more than a few wins. I mean, the entertainment, fine. Keep the entertainment. We've got nothing to... we've got two big series coming ahead. We don't win any of them. I'm sorry, but if we don't beat India at home and we don't compete in the Ashes, then all them entertainment, I'm not interested. I want to see us win.
Yeah, so do I. Listen, I agree with that. You got to win a certain amount. Let's just touch on this right arm fast bowling plan that we seem to have come up with and gone to India. Now, I don't think any side has ever gone to India in a white ball series with four right arm fast bowlers and one spinner and just blasted them out and beaten them on their own turf. Why did we think this was ever going to work?
In this part, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. I feel like they think that when they go to Pakistan on the Pakistani flat pitches, that this double spin is not going to be the way forward. And I feel like potentially that's the thought. I'm trying to put a thought behind it because otherwise it doesn't make sense. In India, it just doesn't make sense. But again, while putting that thought behind it, I think it's another example of England trying to be smarter than the game. You've got a series against India leading into ICC Champions Trophy. You'd put your best team out on the given day to win because the momentum that goes into this tournament will have an effect, and it's a short tournament. It's something like 19 days. So yeah, I wouldn't have gone down that road, but that's what I think the thought process is that in Pakistan. But again, if India get to the
And
final
do you think
would.
that's right? Do you think it is a better tactic in Pakistan than it is in India?
Yeah, but yeah, potentially because Pakistan white ball cricket in Pakistan, they're really really flat pitches, and you're going to need X factor. You're going to need a bit of pace. Whether I would go all out and out pace, but I see it. Spinners can really travel the distance in white ball cricket in Pakistan. But if India gets to the final, or you end up, you're going to be back in Dubai. So then what do you do? You're going to. So my point is, you can think too far ahead and become smarter than try and outsmart everyone. Or you can just go, you know what? We've got the skills. This is our balance of our team. This is going to serve us right in every condition. We're going to concentrate on every given day to bat better than the opposition, bowl better than the opposition, and just keep the game simple.